Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This is your faculty for CA Inter Auditing and Assurance. Welcome to the auditing chapter number 2, lecture number 2, and welcome to the intermediate audit class, right? So, as you all know that before going for the holidays, we have already conducted one session on this new chapter. As you all know that the name of this new chapter is nothing but called Audit Planning, Programming and Audit Strategy, Audit Planning and Audit Programming. I hope you all agree with that. Yes or no? So it is Audit Strategy first, and then what? Audit Planning, and then we got what? Audit Programming. On that day, those who have not attended the class, let me make them very clear. That was a very important session. Anyways, you missed it out, but I would like you to know the fact that this session is also going to be extremely important because our 300 series, if we carefully talk about our 300 series, that is purely and purely based upon this thing. What thing? Audit, strategy, planning, and program. These three words we are going to understand in a different way, right or not? Now, for those who didn't attend that session, so let me give you a revision for that. And those who attended also, I think due to the gap of 3-4 days, you might have lost the concentration in this particular thing. So today, unfortunately, I'll not be able to see your doubts, and I'll not be able to see your comment because today I'm streaming from my home studio instead of our institute studio. So I'm streaming from my home studio and I don't have the resource to see your comments and all. So bear with me for today's session. Tomorrow onwards, we'll definitely do the needful to ensure that yes, you all will be taken care of. Your comments and everything will be taken care of. Okay. So that is it for today's introduction. So what we started in the last session, if I'm not wrong, we had it on 13th January 2022. And on that day, we have completed our chapter number 1, right or not? The chapter number 1, we completed nature, scope and objective, where bundle of topics we have done. And each and every topic ka single motive was to make us understand what do you mean by the term called audit. Now we are moving to the chapter number 2. The name of the chapter is known as Audit Strategy, Planning and Program. Sir, why the name of the chapter is Audit Strategy, then Audit Planning, and then Audit Program? It's a very simple thing. Try to understand this thing. Whenever we do the audit, whenever we start an audit, make sure that we should first strategize our resources. We have to first strategize our what? Resources. Sir, what do you mean by strategizing your resources? Strategizing our resources means we have to first see, do I have the enough team or not? I have to first see, do I have enough money or not? I have to first see, am I capable of doing the audit or not? And I have to also see whether my team is having some equipped experts and professionals to take care that kind of audit or not. Are you understanding my point? So this is what do you mean by audit strategy. If I'm not wrong, in your strategic management also you are learning the word called what? Audit strategy. Sir, audit strategy ka, if I have to tell you the meaning from SM, it is nothing but an action plan of today to achieve your vision. What action plan you have today so that you can achieve your vision of what tomorrow? If I'm not wrong, that is what do you mean by what? Audit planning, audit strategy. Same is the way we can apply the same concept of strategy in our auditing also. Okay, what is my plan of action today so that I can achieve my audit on time? That is called audit strategy. So audit strategy is all about mobilization of your resources, making the best and optimum use of your resources. Clear? This is what do you mean by the word called strategy. Then we have the second thing called planning. Sir, what do you mean by planning? Okay, I organized my resources, I mobilized my resources, I made the efficient and effective use of my resources. Everything is over. But now I have to make sure that I have to acquire the knowledge of my client's business now. Am I correct or not? I have to acquire the knowledge of my client's business now. My resources, perfect. My experts, perfect. My professional, perfect. It means my strategy is perfect. Now, my major problem is, do I have the knowledge of client's business or not? Are you getting the point? So I have to acquire the knowledge of client's business. I have to evaluate their internal control system and accounting system. I have to also make sure that how much trust and confidence I can put on them. I have to also coordinate the things. I have to decide my procedures. I have to understand the entity. I have to understand my client's environment. If I'm talking about the environment, you might have heard about the micro, macro, internal, external environment of the business. I have to learn about that. So that all comes under planning. So strategy was what? Strategy was all about resources of your own firm. Planning is all about acquiring the knowledge of client's business, its entity, its environment, my procedures, my techniques. Are you getting the point? What methodologies I'm going to follow? That is called planning. Now, sir, strategy, you gave us the rough idea. Planning also, you gave us the rough idea. Now, what do you mean by program? Now, try to understand. As a human being or as a chartered accountant, you cannot retain the things for a longer period of time. Try to understand that. As a human being and as a chartered accountant, you cannot retain the things for a longer period of time. You cannot retain hundreds of the things in your mind. You have to make sure that you are putting your planning and strategy on a piece of paper. You're putting your planning and strategy on a piece of paper. And once you will put your planning and strategy on a piece of paper, it will turn into a program. It's a very simple thing. We go to a supermarket and you have to buy hundreds of items of your groceries for your home. Now, do you make a slip or not? Do you write the groceries? And you take that slip in your hand, you enter the supermarket, and the moment you see that particular item which is matching your list, you pick up and you put the cross mark. But in the CA, we don't put the cross mark. We put the tick mark. What do we put? We put the tick mark, not the cross mark. Are you understanding the point? So we don't go for the cross mark, we go for the tick mark, because tick is the actual symbol of being an article assistant and being a chartered accountant. We put the tick mark. So like we do the same thing in the groceries market. As and when the things are over, we are going to put a tick mark or we are going to put a cross mark. Okay, this thing is done, move to the next one. Same in the chartered accountancy also, we put the tick mark. Okay, this is my procedure. This is what I wanted to do, done. This is what I don't want to do, okay, ignored. This is what I've seen. Okay, some things will be added, some things will be reduced. So putting your strategy and a planning on a piece of paper, it is known as program. So what does the auditor do first, everyone? Try to write in the comment box so that you can judge yourself. First thing what the auditor does is known as strategy. He makes a strategy of his resources. Followed by that, he makes what? Planning. He makes what? Planning. What do you mean by planning? He tries to understand the knowledge of client's business. After that, he comes into what? Program. When he puts your planning and strategy on a piece of paper, it becomes a what? Program. This is what the name of our chapter is all about. Audit strategy, audit planning, and audit program. Now the biggest question arises, sir, do we need to do these three topics separately? No. All three are covered under SA 300 only. All are covered under SA 300 only. Are you getting the point? It is just that we have to do the three separate topics under the SA 300. And once I'm telling you, if this 300 goes inside you, then the whole 300 series will become very easy for you. Very, very easy for you. I'm telling you, it will become too much easy for you to understand. Clear, everyone? So be with me and try to understand the meaning of strategy, the meaning of the word planning, and the meaning of the word called program. Clear, everyone? Now, I think same introduction I gave you in the last session also. I'm just doing it for again for those who didn't attend the meeting at that point of time or didn't attend the class at that point of time. Clear? Yes. Now, next thing, sir. अभी पता तो चल गया. After that, what else we are going to do in this chapter? We are also going to do what? We are also going to do the SA 320 audit materiality also we will do in this particular chapter. Audit materiality also will do in this particular chapter. Now, let us start this chapter. So actually, this chapter starts with the SA 300. So what is essay 300? Most of the students write this standard as audit planning. But let me tell you one thing. Essay 300 is known as audit planning, but actual name of the standard is not audit planning. Actual name of the standard is this: planning and performing an audit of financial statement. What is the actual name of the standard? Planning and performing the audit of financial statement. Remember, our every standard will revolve around financial statements. Right or not? Essay 220, quality control to be maintained while doing the audit of financial statement. 210, also about agreeing to the engagement terms before accepting the audit of financial statement. 200, overall objectives of doing an audit and doing an audit as per the standards on auditing. Everywhere we are going to revolve around financial statement. So essay 300 is going to make us teach is how to plan and how to perform the audit of what? Financial statement. I already told you three things. What are the three things we are going to learn? The three things which we are going to learn is the planning, is the strategy, and is the program. तो पहले हम planning के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, then we'll talk about the strategy, and then we'll talk about the program. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, sir, it's time to understand what do you mean by audit planning. What is the first thing we'll understand? Sir, what do you mean by audit planning? Audit planning क्या होता है? अब try to understand. Audit planning helps an auditor in doing his audit efficiently, effectively, but most importantly, on which basis? Timely basis. Now try to understand one concept. I think in your law, section number 141, subsection 3, clause G, which we call it as disqualification provision, there is one very important clause number 8 called clause G, where we have understood about the ceiling limit of the doing company audit. Ceiling limit of doing the company audit. So what do you mean by ceiling limit of doing the company audit? Ceiling limit of doing the company audit के बारे में क्या बोलते हैं कि a chartered accountant can do, a single chartered accountant in practice can do 20 company audits. Am I correct or not? How many company audits he can do? 20 company audits he can do. तो इसका मतलब सर approximately in 180 days, if I'm doing only 20 company audits also, it means average 9 days per audit only I'm spending. Am I correct or not? I'm only and only spending how many days? 9 days per audit I'm spending. So sir, 9 days के अंदर I have to make sure that कि I'm completing the audit of 365 days of business. Am I correct or not? So 9 days के अंदर I have to complete the audit of 365 days of business. It means what? कि I have to be very much skeptical. Means what? I have to obtain a questioning mind. At the same point of time, I have to do the planning also, strategizing also, programming also, everything I have to do in these 9 days. So to make sure that 365 days of business must be completed in 9 days, that is the reason planning is required. And this planning, if I will make, will help me in doing my audit effectively, in doing my audit efficiently, but most importantly, to complete my audit on which basis? Timely basis. Are you understanding the point? So, sir, we understood one concept called T. Sir, what do you mean by T? Time is very important. Efficiency is very important. Effectiveness is very important. Efficiency shows you are competent or not. Effectiveness shows you are you a good performer or not. Timeliness shows are you punctual or not. Right or not? So timeliness, efficiency and effectiveness I can only and only achieve if I'll do the planning of my audit of financial statements relating to my client. You all agree with that? So I hope all of you will agree with me in this point. Please don't mind if I'm having a like cough. I'm having a very severe cough and severe cold since last 4 or 5 days, and that's the reason I'm unable to take the class properly. So please don't mind that. Please bear with me for today. or for next few days till the time it is not getting resolved. I didn't want to cancel the class, so we did any kind of arrangement by hook or by crook. Very thankful to the management of the institute, like who were very helpful in bringing out the solution to make sure that the classes can be done from my end. So what I'm trying to tell you that please bear with me if you find any unwanted noises also in the class from my side. Really sorry for that. Now, it helps an auditor in doing his audit effectively, efficiently, but most importantly, on which basis? Timely basis. So I don't think so that so far you have any doubt in this paragraph. No. Sir, how we can do our audit effectively, efficiently, and timely? Obviously, after acquiring the knowledge of whose business? Client's business. After acquiring the knowledge of whose business? Client's business. अब सुनना ध्यान से. After acquiring the knowledge of the client's business, sir, what do you mean by client's business knowledge? Acquiring the knowledge of its accounting system and internal control system. Acquiring the knowledge of its accounting system and internal control system. Acquiring the knowledge of its accounting system and internal control system. I have to go there, check its internal control system, test its accounting system, and then I have to decide how much trust and confidence and reliance I can put on their internal control system and accounting system. This is all a part of acquiring the knowledge of client's business. I will actually first acquire the knowledge of their accounting system and internal control system. I'll check their cameras, surveillance system, computers are working properly or not, security system is properly or not, book entry system is proper or not, accounting system is proper or not. If I'll have a confidence on their accounting system, internal control system, then I will ask myself, Rohit, as a practicing chartered accountant and as an auditor of this company, how much trust and confidence I can put upon their internal control system and accounting. On the basis of that, I will decide nature, timing, and extent of my audit procedures. On the basis of that, I will decide nature, timing, and extent of my which procedures? Audit procedures. I will decide the nature, timing, and extent of my audit procedures. And finally, I will coordinate everything. I will coordinate the work to make sure that the planning is properly done. Planning is giving me the results. And what are my results I want? Efficiency, effectiveness, timely basis. Did you all understand the point? So acquiring the knowledge of client's business and internal control system means what? Deciding how much trust and confidence you can put, deciding nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures, and coordination of the work. Now, let us club together the definition of auditing. Sir, what do you mean by audit planning? Sir, it helps the auditor in doing his audit effectively, efficiently, but most importantly, on which basis? Timely basis. Point number two. After acquiring the knowledge of the client's business. How to acquire the knowledge of the client's business? Acquiring the knowledge of its internal control system and accounting system. Plus, deciding how much trust and confidence I can put on my client's internal and accounting system. Next, deciding the nature, timing, and extent of my audit procedures. Are you getting the point? And finally, coordinating the work. Am I correct or not? These all things will help me in making my planning and doing my audit on timely, effectively, and efficient basis. Clear, everyone? Yes. Sir, audit planning के advantages क्या है? What are the advantages of audit planning? Why the auditor should do the audit planning? I'll tell you the exact meaning of the advantages of the audit planning. Why auditor should do the audit planning? Point number one, it reduces my workload. Sir, yes, it reduces my workload. If I'll do the audit in my unplanned manner, I will end up doing the audit for a longer period of time without having an idea when I can actually complete it. Do you all agree? Yes, sir. So basically, audit planning helps me in reducing my what? In reducing my workload. Are you getting the point? वो मेरे workload को कम करता है. What? audit planning. This is advantage number one. Second advantage, so you can't deny even in your dreams also. Ki yes, sir, it also helps me in completion of audit on timely basis. It helps me in completion of audit on which basis? On timely basis. So if I will do my audit on timely basis, then what? If I'll do my audit on timely basis, I can complete all my audits. So it is advantage of planning or not? It reduces my workload. It helps me in completing my audit on timely basis. Next, it helps me in separating material items from immaterial items. I will ask you a very simple question. Do you want to waste your time after entering into the client's place to have a differentiation between material items and immaterial items? Or do you want to do this little bit of hard work at the planning stage only to understand what is material item and what is immaterial item so that you can save your time when you are actually going to the client's place to do a audit? Yes or no? I hope all of you are understanding what I'm saying. So it helps in segregating, separating, differentiating the material items from immaterial items. So iska fayda kya? What is the advantage in that? I'll be more focused on the material items. I'll be less focused on the immaterial items. It will help me in saving my time, which I can utilize for the other one. Am I correct, everyone? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. Fourth one. Sir, it also helps me effective utilization of my audit staff. I can utilize my audit staff effectively also if I'll do the proper planning. Sir, how? Tell us one example. See, suppose if I have 10 audit assistants or article assistants in my office, and I did not tell them what to do, what not to do. One is going to the client's place, one is sitting in the office only, one is going to that client where no concern is there. Everyone is doing everything on their own just because I did not plan their work. But on the other side, if I'll plan their work, okay, you two go to that client, you two go to that client, you two go to this client, you two take care of ITR, you two take care of GST returns. Are you getting the point or not? If I will do the effective planning with them, I can effectively utilize them also. I can channelize their talent towards the achievement of my goals. That is called strategy. That is called planning. Next point, direction of direction and supervision of my team. Now, if my team is not going as per the plan, suppose this is my plan and this is the actual execution. So this is my plan. This is the actual execution. If the plan is this and execution is this, it means this gap is there. It is required to be filled up. It means these people must do at least this level. It means I can direct and supervise the performance of my engagement team if I know my planning. If they're going above that, that is super fine. But if they're going below that, that is not fine. Clear, everyone? So I can direct and I can supervise my engagement team if they're doing the planning like. Clear? Next one. Sir, it helps in identifying and resolving the potential problems on timely basis. Now, what happens? Planning actually helps you in identifying the problems, future problem at the early stage only. Sir, how? Now, let's say, for example, I planned that I will go to their accounting system and check their computers and everything, whether they are making proper records or not. E-records are properly maintained. As per section number 128, electronic books of accounts are properly maintained or not. But when I checked their actual books of accounts, they were not following even single subsection of section number 128. They were not at all following the books of accounts as per section number 128. Whatever they want, they were just preparing in whatever the way they want. Don't you think that they will get penalized? Yes. So it helps me in identifying their potential problems right now only, which may take place in future. I can spit it out to my client and he can take accordingly and needful action. Am I correct or not? Yes, sir. You're absolutely correct. So planning also helps me in selecting capable and competent engagement team. It also helps me in selecting capable and competent engagement team. Sir, इसका example क्या देंगे? If my staff has performed well in a particular audit, and on the other side, the other set of staff did not perform well, will I come to know that who is competent, who is... I'm not saying they are incompetent and they are competent. No, don't take me wrong. Someone is better competent. Someone is more competent than another one. That is what my point of concern is. I'm not saying who is competent, who is not competent. I'm just saying that if someone is better competent and someone is less competent. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Yes. So it helps me in selecting my capable and competent engagement team for the next task. Yes or no? I'll come to know that next time may who are going to be the part of my engagement team, whom I can uh, make sure that they should not be the part, and whom I would like to and make them enter into my engagement. Crystal clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Next point. It helps in better coordination of work among various components. So, what do you mean by it helps in better coordination of work among various components? Suppose you are a head office auditor and you are also an auditor of 8 branches. Obviously, you are not doing the audit, somebody else is doing the audit, but you are also the auditor of those 8 branches. Am I correct? It means you are the main principal auditor and there are some people who are going to do the branch audit. Sir, if I will do the audit like that, if I'll be the auditor of the head office as well as 8 branches and some 8 auditors are also doing the audit of those 8 branches, how will I coordinate with them? You can only coordinate with them if you'll make a proper planning. If you will not make a proper planning with them, there will be a zero coordination. And if there will be a zero coordination, you will not be able to do your audit on time. If not on time, effectiveness and efficiency is getting on. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Are you understanding what I'm saying? The next point, planning serves as a guide for which audits? Future audit. So planning also helps me in serving the guide as a which audit? Future audit. Did you understand what I'm saying? So this year planning is definitely going to help me in future in serving the audit. Sir, how? Because next year when I'll be doing the audit of the same company, I will open up the papers of those planning which I have done in the last year. Last year papers I'll open and at least I'll get an idea ki how I started last year audit, what I did in last year audit, and whether last year audit things are still applicable this year or not. And if they are still applicable in this year, whether I can carry forward the same or not. At least base I'll be able to create for my next year audit. Clear, everyone? So it serves as a guide for which audit? Future audit. I hope all of you understood. Yes or no? Yes. I hope my voice and everything is clear. If there is a voice, if there is a voice or anything problem, you can please convey this to the required concerned authorities. So they can let me know and I can correct the things from my side. Okay, everyone? Yes? So I don't think so that none of you understood the meaning of audit planning. So we understood the meaning of audit planning. Sorry. And at the same point of time, we understood the advantages of audit planning. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Clear? Just give me 1 second. Let me do some adjustment. Yeah. Am I audible again? Yes? Okay. Now, sir, we understood the meaning of audit planning. We also understood what advantages of audit planning. Now, the most important thing we have to understand is, sir, what are the two major features of audit planning? What are the two major features of audit planning? अब इसको ध्यान से सुनना. Sir, audit planning के दो बहुत important features हैं. So, what are the two important features? Feature number one, it is a continuous process. Planning is a which process? Continuous process. And second feature, it is flexible in nature. What in nature? Flexible in nature. Sir, इसको explain करेंगे. I have to explain. No other option. This question has been asked 3 times in your previous 6 examinations. One time the question came on continuity. 2 times the question came on flexibility. So I have to explain you to make sure that this is what continuity is all about and this is what flexibility is all about. Now try to understand. Sir, what do you mean by continuous planning? Try to understand. 2021 financial year audit. Just now we are doing it for companies. So 2021 financial year ka audit, we are doing it right now for the companies. Am I correct? Yes, sir. What is the month going on right now? The January month is already going on. Of which year? 2022. इसका मतलब 21-22 financial year का already 10th month has started and we are still doing the audit of what? 2021. So we are doing the audit of 2021 financial year in the month of January of the financial year 21-22. It means by the time this audit will be over, by the time this audit will be over, what will happen? So by the time this audit will be over, already the 10 months of what? 21-22 financial year also will be over. Means our planning for the next 21-22 financial year will start. Are you understanding? 2021 financial year audit we are doing right now. It is getting completed in the Jan 2022, which is the 10th month of the financial year 21-22. It may say, for example, January month you completed the audit, but by that time 10 months of your 21-22 financial year is also over. It means what? You have already started planning for the 21-22 financial year. Sir, did we take a gap? No gap, sir. No gap. Audit planning is a continuous process. The moment you're planning for the one audit stops, the planning for the next audit automatically starts. It's a revolving cycle. It's a revolving tire. It's a cycle. One planning stops, another planning starts. One planning stops, another planning starts. So it's a which process? It's a continuous process. Did you all understand what I'm trying to tell? So when planning of one audit ends, then the other what starts. When the planning of one audit ends, then the other starts. Clear, everyone? That makes auditing a which process? Continuous process. What is the second one? The flexibility. What is the second word? Flexibility. So audit planning flexible कैसे? Is there a rubber band in the planning which we can stretch and make it flexible? No. Sorry. Audit plan is flexible when you enter. Acha, when do you plan? Sir, we plan before entering into client's place. That to every one of you understood. We plan it before entering into whose place? Client's place. So, sir, when we enter, before entering into the client's place, and when we actually enter into the client's place, do you think that your expectations, what you had at the time of planning, will be same when you are actually executing it? No. So many unexpected events will come. So many unexpected transactions will come. So many areas will be there which you might not have considered at the time of planning. So many things will be there which you have over considered at the time of planning. So when we actually do the audit, it's time to remove some of the useless things. It's time to insert some of the useful things in your planning. And it's high time that you should change your planning, modify your planning. So planning should always and always have a scope of improvement. Planning should always and always have a scope of flexibility. It should not be a rigid planning. What I thought, I will go according to my plan only. No. This is not CA exams where you should be little bit rigid about your plan. When the CA exams also, when you plan, then also your flexibility comes. The moment you wrote the foundation exam, the very next month you have joined the batches. In the next 6-7 months, your coaching will do. So you have a mindset, okay, 11 months are there, 1 month gone, 10 months are left. I have started a coaching, 6 months coaching will be there, 4 months self-practice, I will clear C intermediate in the very first go. What will happen? Unfortunately, due to some avoidable and unavoidable reasons, as we all know, like COVID-19, since 2020, I would say, in India, has made this industry now very volatile. This education industry, sometimes off the track, off classes, face-to-face classes, sometimes online classes. So you never know. Because of that, there's a lot of tension among the faculties, among the students, among the institute. At the same point of time, the bigger tension is what? To complete the portion on time. Due to shifting from offline to online, online to offline, so much of time gets wasted. Due to that, unfortunately, your 6 months of classes will get over by 7 months. So 1 month already gone out of 11. You thought 6 months, but it will get over by what? 7 months. 1 plus 7, 8 months are gone out of 11. 3 months are left. First of all, your planning of 4 months reduced to what? 3 months. उसके बाद sir, once the classes will get over, I to need fresh air. Our student tendency is that I to need fresh air, as if you have, digged a Mount Everest or something like that. No, no, no. I to need fresh air. So 1 month of fresh air. God, 1 month also gone. How much left? 2 months. Panic situation starts. This source, that source. Not the source what you have done. This source, that source, calling friends, here, there, going to Chennai, udar, Telegram channel. What sources are available? You will collect it. And finally, you will be confused what to follow, what not to follow. 15 days gone waste. 45 days left. You will start shivering. You are unable to decide. Should I go for both groups? Should I go for single group? Gone. Attempt gone. Because ICA said that the first attempt is always a casual attempt. Is it so? No. You make it casual because you don't know the meaning of the planning. You are not efficient. You are not effective and you do not complete your things on time. ये T जो मैंने बोला था ना TEE, timeliness, efficiency, effectiveness. These are the 3 pillars of planning. You are unable to achieve even after doing that, you are good for nothing. Don't do it otherwise. Have some flexibility in your plan. If you know that some things which I meant for 4 months for my self preparation now can be done in 3 months, stick to that. If 3 months के बाद 2 months, stick to that. 2 months के बाद 1 month, stick to that. Do not be a rigid in your plan. Have some flexibility, but don't give up. So in the real life also we have flexibility in the plan. Audit में तो definitely planning includes flexibility. Am I correct or not? Yes, everyone? Right or not? Yes. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So planning is the most important pillar of every auditing profession. So planning is what in nature everyone continues. One audit stops, planning of another audit starts. Second one, flexibility. It should not be rigid. It should be flexible enough. It should always have a scope of improvement. You never know about the unexpected events. You never know about the unexpected information you never thought of but actually came into picture. And then you will suddenly realize that whatever you did was wrong. Some irrelevant things you have picked up, remove that. Some relevant things you not considered, add it. Accordingly, go for the things. Am I correct, everyone? So this is what do you mean by planning, everyone. Right or not? The features of the planning, continuous in nature and flexible. Because audit plan is always having a scope of what? Right, right everyone? Now, audit strategy. Sir, what do you mean by audit strategy? First of all, though, I hope all of you understood the meaning of audit planning. There are three things we have to understand this particular chapter: planning, strategy, and programming. I think I tried my level best to make you understand the planning in the most exhaustive manner. you, sorry, you have also tried your level best. You have also tried your level best to make sure that you understood the planning in the very effective manner. And I think it's a two-side efforts. Not only me can make you understand, not only you can understand on your own. So it's a two-way communication to make sure that you are understanding and you are not doing anything. Okay? Useless things, right? Okay. So audit strategy now, sir. What do you mean by audit strategy? Audit strategy helps the auditor in setting. मैंने तुम्हें क्या बोला था? Strategy is all about taking care of your resources. Strategy is all about taking care of your team. Strategy is all about deciding who should be the part of your team, who should not be. It's about your resources, money, men, machine, material. In the strategic management also you have na management. So management ko if we'll break it into three parts, managing your men tactfully. That is called manage men tactfully. Managing your men tactfully. Sorry. So what do you mean by that? Making the optimum utilization of what? Your resources. Effectively and efficiently. Because we know that resources are abundant or resources are scarce. Resources are scarce. You have to optimum utilize it. Give me a minute. Huh? Now, so what do you mean by strategy? What we were talking about the strategy, sir? In the strategy, you have to make sure that you are making the best utilization, effective and efficient utilization of your resources. So basically, it's all about deciding your resources, right or not? So if we carefully see what audit strategy helps the auditor in, now see everyone, try to concentrate. What is audit strategy, everyone? Audit strategy helps the auditor in setting scope, timing, direction, guide to form and develop a detailed audit plan. Sir, ये क्या है? First, try to consume this part which I am showing you right now. Audit strategy helps the auditor in setting the scope, timing, direction, and guides to form a developed and detailed audit plan. Now, see, strategy helps you in deciding your parameters, your boundaries, beyond which you cannot go. Am I correct? What is the boundary of my audit? Okay, this is the laws I have to follow. This is the compliances I have to check. This is the maximum team I have right now. So beyond which I can go or I can't go. I can't go. So my scope is decided in what? Strategy. It also helps you in deciding and setting your what? Timing of audit. What to do at what point of time. When to do. Are you getting the point? Let me give you a very simple example. Sales and purchase we can verify at any point of time during the financial year. So timing of verifying the sales and purchase is very simple at any point of time during the financial year. But what about the debtors, creditors? They are transactions or they are balances? They are balances. Balances comes in P&L or balance sheet? Sir, balance sheet. Why are you asking that? Because balance sheet gets prepared only on the balance sheet date. It means if I want to verify the debtors and creditors, I need the closure of the financial year. I cannot verify debtors and creditors during the financial year. I can verify sales and purchase during the financial year. But for the debtors, timing is very important. So timing for the sale and purchase any point of time during the financial year, but timing for debtors and creditors, especially at the end of the year. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, next point. Direction. The direction का मतलब क्या होता है? The direction in which your audit should go in a rightful direction means, do you want a stringent audit or do you want to be a lenient auditor? Let me give you a very simple example. Let's take a very simple example to understand this. Let's say, for example, you have a client who is having the world's best internal control system, world's best surveillance system installed in his company. Your workload will be higher or lower? Your workload will definitely be lower because his internal control system and accounting system is best. You need not worry at all. Your workload will be very lower. But what about the vice versa situation? If his internal control system is not that good or not that apt or not that adequate, then your workload will be higher. So when your workload is getting lower, you can have a trust and confidence on that internal control system. It means you may go for a lenient type of audit. Little bit lenient you can be. But when your workload is more because his internal control system is very poor, then the direction of the audit says that better Rohit go for a stringent manner, strict manner. Do not be lenient with your client. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Yes, sir. We are clear about that. Yes. So it determines your scope, timing, and direction of audit, and also helps you in guiding and developing a detailed audit plan. तो इसका मतलब according to this definition, strategy should come before planning only. Because strategy helps you in developing and forming a detailed audit plan. That's the reason. Very nice. You all understood. That's the reason. What is the name of our chapter? So strategy, planning, and programming. Not planning, strategy, and programming. Clear everyone? Yes or no? सबको समझ में आया? Understood? Yes or no? Yes, sir. We understood. Clear? So it includes what? A planning strategy में actual में होता क्या? What actually happens in the strategy? It helps in establishing an experienced engagement team and experts. मतलब in the strategy only I will decide in my team how many experienced people I need and how many experts I need. It means decision relating to your resources. How many experts I need? Okay, I'm doing the audit of Dr. Reddy's laboratory, so I definitely need a pharmacist. I'm doing the audit of a Vizag steel plant, so I definitely need a cost accountant in my team. Definitely. Am I correct or not? So how many experts I need? How many experienced people I need in my engagement team? That is called the decision of what? Resources. Clear everyone? So this is called strategy का inclusion point number 1. Upper part and this part को अपन merge करेंगे. तो upper part और lower part को अपन merge करेंगे. And after merging, we'll come to know about the main definition of the word called what? Audit strategy. So we'll understand the two definitions को अपन merge करेंगे and we'll come to know about the big definition of audit strategy. Right now, what we have understood about audit strategy, like in the audit planning, what we did. So audit planning helps the auditor in performing his audit timely, efficiently, and effectively after acquiring the knowledge of client's business. That is called acquiring the knowledge of its internal control system, accounting system, deciding how much trust and reliance I can place, deciding the nature, timing, and extent of my audit procedure, and coordination of the work to be performed. Sir, audit strategy means what? Audit strategy means it helps in setting up scope, timing, and direction of the audit, and also helps in developing or forming a detailed audit plan. It includes what? Point number 1. Helps in establishing a good engagement team with the amount of professionals and how many experts you need in your team. So it means decisions of resources. Okay, I decided how many people I need in my team. I need these many experts, these many professionals in my team, these many experienced people in my team. After that, whom I should allocate what area? It helps in allocation of resources and timing. Whom should I give which area? I will give sales and purchase to this person, GST and income tax to this person, auditing to this person, accounting to this person, checking internal control system to this person. That is called allocation and timing. Who shall do what and how much time is required? Are you getting the point? Who shall do what and how much timing is required? Do I need more professionals in risk area or do I need less experienced people in the non-risky area? Obviously, if the area is very risky, so will I be going with my team having the less experienced people or more experienced people? The definitely more experienced people. But tell me at the same point of time, if the area is non-risky, should I go for the more experienced people or less experienced people? Less experienced people. How much time they required for risky area and non-risky area and who shall do what? How the allocation of the work is going to be divided among them? This is what the major concern right now. Am I correct or not? Okay, sir. That also we understood. The first we decided the decision relating to my resources. Ki how many professional experts I need, then to whom I will allocate which area and how much time they need to do that particular allocated area. It also helps in deciding the timing of doing the audit. It also helps in deciding the timing of doing an audit. Just now I told you, it helps in setting up the scope, timing and all. Like for the, what to say, sales and purchase. Can you do it at any point of time during the financial year? Yes. So it means interim timing. At any point of time you can do interim timing. But what about the balances? Debtors, plant and machinery, creditors, that you can only do at the cutoff dates. So key cutoff dates, like GST returns. There are cutoff dates for filing the GST returns. You can't verify them at any point of time. You can verify them only at the time when they are being filed. Means monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. That's it. You cannot verify the GST returns in between the year, between the month. So what to do at what time? What are the key cutoff dates that you should know? And what are the things you can do it interim? Means at any point of time that you should. Next point. It helps in directing, managing, supervising the team by doing briefing and debriefing meetings. Now, that's the most important part of your audit strategy. Tell me one thing very clearly. How your staff will come to know whether they are going in a good direction or right direction or wrong direction. Just now we understood. Audit strategy is all about setting up the timing scope. मैंने अपना scope decide कर लिया. How many resources I need. I decided the timing, what to do at what, by whom, by allocating them, and by deciding the timing of doing the audit, interim wise or cut off wise. But how I will come to know that are they doing the audit properly according to my strategy or not? I will call them at regular intervals to meet me. I will do the briefing and debriefing meetings with them. I will supervise them. I will manage them. I will direct them. Okay, you are going wrong. Do this in this way. I'm monitoring them, managing them, controlling them, supervising them. Obviously not controlling them in the way what you might be thinking, sir. अगर आप ही हमें कंट्रोल करोगे तो लिबर्टी है. You have the full liberty to do the things, but not in the way you want to, the way the law wants you to. So I will supervise you wherever you're going wrong. I will manage you wherever you're going wrong. I will direct you wherever you're going wrong. I will try to put you on the right direction if I think that you are going wrong somewhere. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That you can only do when you will communicate with them. That you can only do when you will talk to them. That is called briefing and debriefing team meetings. So I hope all of you now understood what audit strategy was all about. Sir, audit strategy का मतलब क्या हुआ? Audit strategy means setting up your time, scope, direction of audit, and helps you in developing and forming a detailed audit plan. It includes deciding about your resources, how many engagement professionals and experts you need, allocation of resources, who will do what at what time, deciding the timing of audit, what to be done during interim time, for what we need to wait for the key cutoff dates, and then finally giving them the direction by managing them, directing them, supervising their work by having a briefing and debriefing meetings with. I hope all of you understood. Yes or no? Yes. So remaining topic we'll do it in the next session, everyone. Uh, Actually, I'm not feeling well, so I'll definitely tomorrow I'll compensate this 15-20 minutes which I'm leaving you early. So thank you so much for